All right, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Not that many people are happy on Mondays, but happy Monday anyway. Welcome to today's Microsoft Flight Simulator live stream. I'm your host and pilot, as always, Uncle B. Back in the Uncas 52 today, as usual. We're departing from Joe Foss Field in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and we are heading to Eppley, Omaha, Nebraska. It says 3 hours and 22 minutes. I am positive we are going to make it there much quicker. We have 3 legs today. The first leg is 108 nautical miles. Second leg is... Oops, that's not what I wanted. There we go. Second leg is 86 nautical miles, and the third leg is 66 nautical miles. So that's our last leg, and we will be landing there in Eppley. And we'll be all set. And we'll be done for the day. So yeah, we will wait for folks to come in and say hello. We've got time. We'll get started at about 15 minutes. We'll spawn in and get everything set up. And oh, you know what? We can set up a few things here. I think we're okay on fuel, but I'm going to add just a little bit, just to be on the safe side. While we're waiting for folks to pop in the chat, if they so want to. If not, it's quite all right. I know it's Monday. I'm not everybody's cup of tea on Monday. It's okay. All right, there we go. So we should have more than enough range to get us there. I just want to throw a little bit of extra fuel in the tank just to be on the safe side. So yeah, we'll once we're in the air and on our way, we'll talk about kind of a few observations, or at least one observation from Saturday's flight. For those of you who were in the chat, you'll probably already kind of get an idea of what I'm going to be talking about, or at least you'll be like, oh yeah, I know where he's gonna go with this. So yeah, we'll do that, and then what else? We'll have story time too. They're kind of tie together. Actually, they will tie together. Story time and a little discussion about what happened on Saturday on the second half of the flight. Once we were more than halfway there to at least halfway or more to Tokyo. We'll yeah, story time and that will go together. Good stuff. We'll have a couple parts of story time. Actually, we'll have two story times. One part will tie into something that happened on Saturday. There we go. That's the story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm just going to sit here and sip on my coffee a little bit. We'll be back Wednesday. We're going to depart from here and head down. Where did I put it at? I put it on the list. Where did I say our next? Wednesday, we are departing from Eppley. We're heading to Topeka, Kansas. Thursday, Kingman to San Bernardino. Friday, we'll be going from Guyana down over to Suriname, South America. So that should be a nice flight on Friday. And then next week we have, on Friday, we'll do a jetliner flight. We're going to go from... I already wrote it down. I just haven't put it on the schedule. Or, I'm so Friday and Saturday, the 20th and 21st, it'll be back-to-back jetliner flights. That flight on Saturday will be the flight from Dallas Fort Worth to Miami International. I'll be flying the A321, but if anybody wants to fly, that's going to be like a 3-hour or something flight. So if anybody wants to join in, more than welcome to on that one. Well, anybody you join any day that I'm flying, you're more than welcome to. So just waiting. About 10 more minutes and we'll spawn in, we'll get started and get out of here. Runway 15. We're going to take off, hang a little bit of a right turn towards our vortex there. Hang another right turn. Left turn. And down to a VOR DME, and then another left turn to going into Omaha, Nebraska there. So morning, Joseph. How are you? So we'll go out probably at least up to this point. Once we're in the air, we'll go out a little bit, and then we'll slowly make our turn there, heading towards our VOR DME, or our vortex, I mean. So hopefully some nice scenery today. We've got some clouds in the air today for our flight. Nothing super major. So it is extremely cold there right now in real life. It is like, they said it's like -3 degrees Celsius there in Omaha. So no, we will have some sunshine. The temperatures will not be a factor. At least not as much as we can allow. So yeah, so story time, and an observation, I guess you could call it, is on the schedule once we're in the air today. So, but I'll preface this by saying I really enjoyed Saturday's flight, even though somebody kept asking every 5 minutes, "Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Joseph, are we there yet?" Oh my goodness. It's not a flying across the Pacific or the Atlantic is not a quick. Like I can't change the time and get there quicker. It doesn't work that way. But yeah, it was good. I'm glad I did it. I mean, 4,000 nautical miles, 10 hours and 40 minutes of flying. That's still not bad. I mean, that's only an hour over what it said the flight would have done, would have lasted, but it is what it is. It was fine. I enjoyed it. I think I was much better prepared this time than I was the previous times, so I'm happy for that. But when I got up this morning, the video was still playing. It was already getting dark, so I think that was when I just saw a glimpse of it on my phone. I think that's when we were getting ready to descend into Tokyo and lined up for arrival and all that. So, yeah, it went pretty good. I was really pleased. The sim held out. There was a few hiccups, but overall, it was fine. So I'm really, really thankful for that. Oh, and Two-Tone Murphy gave Coronado a little bit of a what for over the weekend. Asked them, what gives. You're putting your stuff on sale, and yet the products that have already been out there, or everything's full of bugs and everything. So, what's up? Well, they didn't like his comment on their Twitter, so they deleted his post on their Twitter. But it's a legitimate question. It's a legitimate question. But hats off to him for saying what I think a lot of people have been thinking. That this is part of the problem. But anyways, yeah, I had a good chuckle out of that one. That was fantastic. All right. So we have I'm just kind of looking here. So Topeka, then we're gonna have to go. Yeah, well, we'll figure it out. I'm not gonna try to figure it out right now. All right, about almost 3 minutes, and we'll spawn in and get started here. So yeah, story time is forthcoming. Oh, I want to do some shout outs just to kind of get things started here. I finally got a chance to watch Planet Neutral streams, and he's just kind of a chilled person. He's a dad. He's got kids, and just a really kind of laid back sort of person. Kind of like Scruffy, wholesome. Yeah, do go give him a follow, please. Yeah, I was watching Scruffy, and then I was leaving for the night, or getting ready to go to bed, and I saw Planet Neutral was going live, so I'm like, oh, let me go check him out for a little bit. Yeah, do go give him a follow. I wasn't able to watch the whole stream. I think they were doing some sort of a flight over in Italy. They were following a river or something in Italy, I think, last night. But yeah, do go give them a follow. And I know I gave her a shout out on Saturday. I'm going to give her a shout out again. Good morning, Scruffy. Go follow Allison Johnson. She does a lot of her streams are focused on female aviators, but I can tell you from what I saw on Saturday, I think it was Saturday. No, it was Friday with Captain Arish's stream. Allison is one of the most kind-hearted people in the community. If there's anybody that can make Captain Arash speechless during the stream, Allison Johnson is probably the person that'll do it. So, yeah, absolutely wonderful person. Very warm, very kind-hearted, just very genuine. If she can help somebody in any way, she will. So yeah, do go give her a follow. Yeah, just absolutely wonderful person. So yeah, she stunned Captain Arash on Friday. Yeah, that was amazing. Absolutely amazing. So yeah. And then of course Scruffy, who was over in Australia last night. Oz Nomad was his usual tourist guide self during the stream, I should say. So yeah, do go check Scruffy out. He's doing all kinds of amazing things, doing flying tours. I know Saturday, or they just wrapped up the stuff in Hawaii, I think on Saturday. So he's got all kinds of stuff coming up, and always finding interesting places to fly. And of course, if anybody is from the area, he's happy to have them in the chat, and they can point out some points of interest and talk about some history and stuff like that. And yeah, wow, fantastic stuff. And then I think I did. I gotta find Vipers. Viper Strike is doing a round the world tour. Yes. Yeah, that does help kind of put things into context. Um with the pictures. Yeah, I saw that. That was fantastic. And then also go follow Viper Strike. Um he's doing a round the world tour in the DC-3. This is a something that was done a long time ago. So he's replicating that around the world flight in the DC-3. So if you want to see some uh, some DC-3 flying on a regular basis, Viper Strike is your pilot. And let's see. Was there anybody else? I think that's it for right now. Oh, Angry. Yes, I almost forgot about Angry. I just remembered. Angry One Horn. He's a veteran like me, although he served in the Air Force. I gotta add one. All right, hold on a second, folks. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I'll have to put. I thought I had one for him, but let me. He did this amazing flight on Sunday. He does like what he calls his breakfast flight, and he has story time as well from his time in the Air Force, and it's always funny. He's a pretty cool individual. I like watching his stuff. It's nice to see fellow veterans out there. Where is this? I know I follow him. Where is this? There he is. Okay. I do go give Angry One Horn a follow. But yeah, he's doing this breakfast flying on Sunday. He has his coffee and his flying. So yeah, do go give him a follow as well. I know it's difficult because I follow so many people now. It's just kind of like trying to spend time with everybody, and because not a lot of people know me, but I know who they are, kind of thing. So that's the difficult part. Like I've been following Kahari, and I catch Kahari a stream every once in a while, but I've not really interacted with Kahari much for her to kind of remember who I am. I think, even though she followed me, I think after Scruffy made the suggestion. But anyway, um, let's get ready to go here, so we can get on our way here, and then we'll have story time. Today's flight brought to you by Parasox Airline. Just because you have a pair of socks does not mean they have to match. Scruffy will show you. Literally, if you ask him when he's streaming. Oh, great. Okay, so we need to do a couple things. Let's get our frequencies. The Euchers, yep. Good old. The way they pronounce it, though, is so wrong. It's supposed to be Euchers, but they call it Junkers. I didn't know any different. You know, like when I it's a Junkers. Why would they call it a Junkers? What kind of you know? I can turn that off. I can turn that off. What's this? Oh, let's get this on. Let that boot up. And let's go over. Let's just get some of this dialed in now. Even though I don't have the icing on, I just want to, as I always say, I just want to get in the habits of getting things, kind of getting some good muscle memory. Map, please. Zoom out once. Okay, there's that, and we don't have our signal yet. That's okay. Alright, I think we are set otherwise. No, let's adjust the time. Just a little bit. Yeah, that should do. Yeah. Yeah, that's good right there. All right, let's get out of here. And away we go. The old crusty salute to the towers we fly by. Stick your tongue out on whatever. And away we go. Heading of 230. Ooh, our needle's alive now. No, right. There we go. We have 105 nautical miles now to our port tack there in the distance. I don't think we'll have any mountainous areas to contend with today. We shall see. I think we'll be all right. Okay. Well, Joseph, that is debatable. You're driving, young man. You got Joseph, just slow down. It's not, you don't have to go fast everywhere. You're just slow down and just drive reasonably. No, it's okay. Not that you don't have to be in a rush for everything. It's not a race. Just take your time. That's all you got to do. And I said it before. If you have that map, just drive around it and know where everything is, and that way you're not rushing everywhere. Just slow down. It's okay. Rushing, what happens is you start making mistakes, and just all kinds of stuff happens, and it's not. This does this. I'm already getting off course. All right, let's go ahead and get the. Ooh, I gotta get the throttle. Ooh, I gotta do a bunch of stuff here. I'm already starting to think about the story time and. All right. Yeah, just take your time. Just take your time. There's no reason to rush around and speed and everything else, because it's just all chaotic, and it's not good. It's funny a few times, but then it's just like, just slow down. Anyways, story time. Alright, so story time is actually, well, so I'll preface this. Story time was kind of inspired by I've been rewatching the show House. The doctor who's very gruff, very direct. You know, doesn't he doesn't suffer fools lightly. Even though sometimes he is foolish himself, but he's a brilliant doctor, or at least that's the premise, right? But before we get to that part, I saw this little clip on YouTube yesterday while I was waiting for Scruffy to go live, and the clip was of these military cadets. I think they're ROTC cadets, going through the gas chamber. Now, when you think of gas chamber, don't let your head go to this insane place or whatever. Basically, what it is you go in, they burn tear gas. So they have like these little tablets that they put into a burner, and the tablet will give off the tear gas. And so they put like 3 or 4 of them in there. The few are like, if you put one, it's kind of mild, but like 3 or 4 is usually, hello infidel fireman. 3 or 4 is about the usual. That's the average. Maybe a bit more if it's a larger building, but generally I think 3 or 4 is pretty reasonable. But you go in and you have your protective mask on, and so you go in, you do a bunch of things, you move around to see if your mask is sealed correctly and all that, and then at the very end you take your mask off, you have your eyes closed, you hold your breath, and you have to open your eyes, let out a breath, and inhale again. And once everybody does that, then they open the door and you can leave the chamber, right? 20 minutes of ads. I only have 2 minutes. No, I don't know what you mean, infidel. It should. I've got it set for 2. What? No. You're kidding me. Oh, oh my God. I thought I had it set for only 2 minutes of ads. Oh, for God's sakes. I'm sorry, guys. I did not know that. I'm sorry. I did not realize that was the case. I thought it was set for 2 minutes. God. Yeah, I did not know that. I am so sorry, guys. I will try to figure that out after we wrap things up. That's unacceptable. I did not realize that there was 20 minutes of ads that entire time I'm sitting here talking, and the only people that can actually hear me is anybody who's a subscriber. Oh man, I am so sorry. I did not know. Well, thank you for the gift sub, Scruff. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm sorry, folks. I really am. I did not. I saw the thing was grayed out, but I thought that was just running my 2 minutes. Alright, well, I don't know when that changed or why it changed to that much. Okay, sounds good, Scruff. That's not how I wanted to start the stream today. So anyway, so the gas chamber, so they light the tablets and everything, right? And you go in there. Now, if there's people who will intentionally try to hold their breath as long as possible and everything, because the people who've already done what they're supposed to do, open their eyes, let out the breath, they're already starting to suffer from the tear gas, right? And so you're just kind of like, let's go. And, I don't know if it's just that the drill sergeants would ask, or like, hey, when you go in there, hold your breath as long as possible kind of thing. Or people would just do it just to be jerks or whatever. But there's those people. But anyway, when you inhale this stuff, it burns your eyes. Hence the name tear gas, right? In some cases they found it in your face. But you're just like, you can't hardly see because your eyes are already starting to tear up, and then you get all this stuff, this snot running out your nose, and you just, it's just such a miserable experience. And you go outside. Now the key is you're not supposed to touch your face at all. You're supposed to keep your arms out and walk around to get the air to kind of flow, and eventually you'll be fine. But it's such a miserable experience. But it's so funny because when you see other people go through it and come out the other side, they're just like, they got the snot coming out their nose, and they're just like, it is absolutely hilarious. But when it's you that it's happening to, you're like, this isn't fun at all. No, I didn't like this. But anyway, so on to kind of tie into, so I'm in the first season of House, and I'm at the story arc where Vogler buys his way onto the board of directors, $100 million donation, and he's got it out for House, and he's got it, he's pretty sure that Cuddy and House are having some sort of inappropriate relationship and all that. And so that kind of reminded me, we'll tie this in with what happened on Saturday during the stream. When I was a medic, I was in my last duty station. I was in an aviation brigade. So we were in the support battalion for the entire brigade. So we had maintenance. That was the main thing. We had maintenance companies. That was Bravo. Alpha was like the transporting like fuel and stuff like that. I was in headquarters. I'm trying to think what Charlie did. I can't remember everything, but like there was one company that was like the maintenance company, and they were located in the old World War II or post World War II, because it was where I was at Hunter was an old Army Air Force base, and so the hangars were taken over by us, and so all the helicopter maintenance would take place in those hangars. And so Bravo Company was notorious that if they sent a soldier to sick call, for instance, which is they were ill in theory until they came and saw us, and then they were checked out, and the provider would say, well, I don't think this is that serious. They can go back to work, or light duty day, nothing strenuous, but I can't really give a valid reason for them to go back to their room and sleep for the rest of the day, kind of thing. Well, some of the sergeants from Bravo Company were notorious for coming over to the aid station and trying to tell us how to do our job. And this was something that a recurring thing when I was a medic is, there's always those people, and I call it the house effect. They watched one episode of House, and suddenly they were board certified in all kinds of medicine. They were cardiologists all of a sudden. They were subject matter experts. And so then if we'd say, well, I think we need to take this person to the hospital, for instance, no, I think they're just trying to shirk they're faking it. Well, Do you want to make that decision? Do you want to be liable if something were to happen and they weren't faking it? Do you want to face that family? Well, no. Okay, then we're taking them to the hospital. If it turns out that they were faking it all along, then you guys can deal with it, but I'm not taking that chance. But anyway, so there was one time it happened and it pissed me off. And I said, we don't go down to your hangars and tell you how to do your job, right? Like I wouldn't go in there and say, oh, you didn't torque that nut correctly. You better make sure it's torqued correctly before you sign off and say that it's done good. And sometimes people are like, yeah, I see where you're coming from. If we don't do that to you, what makes you think it's okay to come in here and do it to us? Or that you're going to question the doctor. The doctor has way more training than we have. Stuff like that. So that reminded me, so basically what happened Saturday. Now, I should say this too. There are people, there are simmers who are also real world pilots. In the real world, they fly A320s or 737s or whatever, but they sim because it's fun, and there's things that they can show other simmers, things that they know that another simmer would be like, oh, that's cool, I'm going to add that to my repertoire, so to speak, right? Or I'm going to do it that way too, because that's like the legit thing, and so this person came in talking about cruising altitudes for the 747 and that flight level 420 was not a legitimate cruising altitude. I'm like, well, in the sim it is. I don't know about real world, and of course there's many more planes flying at one time in the real world than there is in the sim. And hippie midget band. Okay. And so it kind of threw me off. And I did kind of go silent for a bit because I'm just like, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, okay, is this something that I need to be really concerned about in the sim? No. Okay. But I did give it some thoughts. I'm like, okay, maybe there's something I'm missing here that I never, thought of before. Nope. It was strictly that person had some knowledge, came in, tried to flex it. But I wouldn't go in, if somebody was really struggling, right? And I'm like, hey, you might want to try this. If that helps them, then so be it. But I'm also cognizant that some people want to figure it out for themselves. Yes, it is all about the delivery. And because I was kind of short maybe with that person, but I was just like, you fly your way, I'll fly my way, and that's okay. I wouldn't try to tell you that you're doing anything wrong or different than or whatever, because you may have a different bit of knowledge than I do, or you prefer to fly it that way because you want that immersion, right? You want it to be ultra realistic, Well, if that's the case, then you might as well be an airline pilot, right? So, yeah, I don't like that aspect of simming. I saw it a lot when I was in Train Sim World 2, the horn code thing. You have to do the horn codes. No, I don't. Yes, you do, because that's how but I'm streaming. If I'm doing a horn code every 3 seconds or whatever, I'm not going to be able to talk. It never dawns on people that that's the case, right? But yeah, I don't, if people are going to make mistakes or whatever, it's okay. It's just a sim. It's not costing anybody their lives or whatever. You know, if you're like, I don't understand why this mistake happened, and somebody could say, well, because this, and this. Okay, well then you've learned from the mistake, right? That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But yeah, it's just yeah, I was just kind of like, what just, why? And Scruffy made a valid point. Some people just have to just show off. They're not really contributing anything to the conversation or the stream or whatever. They just have to come. They just want to come in and, hey, Planet Neutral, there he is. I gave you. I think you missed it, but if you guys don't already, go follow Planet Neutral. Dude, I really enjoyed the little bit of what I watched on your stream last night, and I wish I could have stayed for the whole thing, but yeah, he's much in the vein of same vein as Scruffy. You know, he tries to keep it family friendly, just very relaxed, and just a great time. Oh, yeah, no problem. I'm glad to have stopped. I was just like, when I was getting ready to leave Scruffy's stream for the night, and I saw you were live, I was like, oh, let me just go by and say hi for a few minutes and call it a night. So, yeah, no problem, dude. I'm glad to help out. I'm glad I finally got a chance to watch you for a few minutes. So, yeah, really just a great vibe. You know, that's the best part about it. If you're looking for just a nice, relaxing, I know everybody's like, oh, you got a soothing voice, Uncle B, but if you want to just go watch something relaxing as well, and I'm not on, watch some Planet Neutral. So, yeah, no problem at all. I'm glad to finally get a chance to watch it. I've been following you for a bit now, I think, but I think last night was finally the time I was like, oh, let me hop in and say hello. Hopefully you had a good flight. Yeah, that's the tricky part too about streaming, is trying to find a time to do it where you're going to get a decent amount of viewers. Or and in some cases, some people are just like, I'm just going to stream it. If I get a lot of viewers, it's fine. If not, it's okay. I'm just doing it for fun, So, but yeah, yeah. I didn't quite understand why that person had to come in and say that, but it's okay, like. I did give it some thought that, okay, maybe there's something that person knows that I don't, that it would help me improve my flying in some way. But in all reality, that was not going to be the case. And that's okay. It's all right. Somebody unfollowed me already. They're like, oh, this guy's just talking out his backside. That's okay. I've been hovering around. It's like I get 201, 202, 203, and then it goes back to 201. So that's okay. It's probably a bot accounts that are finally getting filtered out. So that's all right. Let's get a picture here. But yeah, I really enjoyed Saturday's flight. That was a lot of fun. It was a little bit longer than I expected, but that's okay. Hey, follow. No, but I think somebody was talking with. I think it was on Viper's stream, because I was watching Angry, and then they rated Viper. And Iceman was talking about that somebody there are those follow bots out there that are just um, yeah, you get like this insane amount of followers all of a sudden, and it turns out it's not legit, stuff. Oh yeah, Iceman was talking about that too. Yeah, that it happened to. But yeah, there was some stuff that Iceman, Viper made him a mod on the channel real quick, and Iceman went and cleaned out some stuff or whatever for him on his channel. So, um, yeah, that's insane. But yeah, anywho. But no, I haven't had it yet. But I hope I catch it in time, or I don't even know what would be other than if I look at my follower count and all of a sudden it's like 2,200. Turn off my alerts. Fortunately, there's a decent tool to isolate and remove them. Oh, okay. Oh, I could imagine alerts must have been going crazy. See, I don't have all that stuff. Like, if it would say like all the flashing on the screen or whatever. I guess that's the good thing about streaming from the Xbox. But yeah, that's insane. No, I've been pretty fortunate. I haven't been hit with anything like that. Knock on wood, even if it's fake. But yeah, that's. I usually get the whole. Do you want to be famous? If you go here, you can buy subscribers and all that kind of stuff. I think those they're getting a handle on those, but now they're finding a way around that. See, I would know it'd be legit if two-tone. Usually most of the big streamers, on average, have about 300 or 400 viewers, and we all, most everybody follows everybody else as it is anyway. So, but I wouldn't expect I'd be shocked if Fabio came in and raided my channel, because I don't I follow Fabio, but it's not like I'm super active in his stream or in his chat or anything for him to know who I am. So I would be shocked, or if Two Tone or somebody like that raided me. I can't remember the last time it was like about a week or so ago was the last time I was raided. Yeah, see, Captain Arash was responsible for mine, I think. He's raided me a couple times on Fridays. Like, he'll wrap up his Friday stream and then he might raid me. But usually there's not a whole lot of people, and most of the people that are in the raid anyway already follow me. So, but it's all good. I'm not trying to be famous. I'm just trying to enjoy this, and if it happens, it happens. If not, it's quite okay. I don't, I'm not gonna live or die by it. But yeah, I would be speechless if. Yes, yeah. It is a time issue as well. I do recognize that. 49 now. So we're more than halfway there for this. Yeah, that's part of it too, is I tend to Yeah. Yeah, see that, yeah, that's the difficult part. Like I'm trying to help more people watch Scrubby, but like on Sundays, for instance, he streams at 8, and most people who are on my channel are on over in the UK, and so they're already in bed. Hello, Amela, welcome. Thank you for the resub. Appreciate it. I had pork loin for dinner last night. It was rather small, so I ate the whole thing in one sitting. I didn't have any leftovers. But yeah, it is a bit difficult, but you know, it's okay. This I stream it this time because if although what I think I'm doing that works for me better because I'm in a better place, like mentally, is if I have an appointment, I just don't stream at all. Because if I try to either do it before I have to leave for my appointment or after I get back, it's just all stressful, and it's just like, I just rather not stream that day. So I try to leave Tuesdays open during the week, that if I have to adjust my schedule a little bit, I can, and I can do stuff on Tuesdays. But if it's too much, you know, like last week I didn't stream Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, which was fine. You know, I like to make content, but sometimes it's just easier to not worry about all that when I've got appointments to worry about. But I don't know if Hippie Midget Band is trying to catch up to me. I'm not going. I know the SR-22 is pretty fast, certainly faster than the Junkers, but yeah, I'm trying to, because I've tried to do it before, where I've tried to stream before I go to an appointment, and then it's like that's when everything crazy that can happen does happen, and I'm just like, oh, and yeah, it. So yeah, I just tried. I'm like, yeah, it's just not worth all the drama and headaches and whatnot. So it's you know, I can always do it another day. I can just, you know, that's why I try not to make my. I mean, I have a schedule. In essence, it's not necessarily set in stone, but that's why I leave that Tuesday open. If it's like, okay, I have to adjust one of the days, because, and so that way I try not to miss anything if I can help it. But if I do, I do. It's all right. Cool. Yeah, I didn't put it well below 40% or 50%. We still have 2 legs to go. Yeah, I didn't. Let's just make it up just a little bit more. I know I should do it this way. I gotta get better at that. I really do. But yeah, I early on when I was streaming Planet, I was still trying to figure out my channel and how best to do things, and all that, and it was a very difficult journey to figure out what was like the best way to do things. And I mean, it's still not perfect, and I don't expect that it will be, and that's okay. You know, that's perfectly fine. So So no, I'm just trying to do the best I can, and if I come up short, I come up short. It's okay. Ooh, big moon there. Look at that. I'm not anywhere near that. Okay. But hopefully everybody's had a good weekend. Nice to see you all here. I know some folks can't hang out all the time. Some folks are heading back to work or got to get ready for work. Some folks are like Addie's, he gets tuckered out very easily and he falls asleep for forever and ever, and he wakes up just as we land. So we'll be back Wednesday. We'll depart from here and head over down to Topeka. I need to really, probably after I wrap things up today, I'm going to plan out next week's flying, because I just realized what I should have done was skirted across up and over to like Green Bay and then drop down and continue to zigzag. So that's okay. We'll make it work. If we have to do like a long flight one of the days to get up to Green Bay and then back down or whatever before I head further, anything. So we'll see how it goes. But I gotta try to land in the lower 48 states. I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anything. Oh, on Scruffy's airline, thanks to Saturday's flight, I am finally over the 10,000 sock threshold on his virtual airline. So, yeah. But I need to do some company routes. I want to get in the habit of, I want to try to do it, like in the afternoon, once I'm done with all the other flying, but I want to start doing flights in the A310 from San Francisco to Los Angeles, just to get the practice in on that, just so that I have another jetliner option. The only drawback is it's a very long process as far as the startup goes, and so it's hard to kind of like look at this chat and keep all the stuff going to get the aircraft ready to go. So it's not like I can just build a flight plan in the world and then it populates in. No, it will not save. It doesn't show up in the FMS. So if we're going to do it, it would have to be a route that is short in flight time, about an hour or so, maybe an hour and a half, because a lot of that time of the stream. I never heard of it until, it was just, I was watching Viper's stream one time and he was talking about it, and I was like, I'd heard about two-tone, like the Firefly Airlines for some time, and and I was like, well, but I'm not on the PC. I thought it was just a PC only related sort of thing. And he's like, no, no, no. If you do this, this, and this, then you can join the airline, and you just have to do it this way. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I did that, and so I joined Firefly Airlines. And so all these flights originally I was putting them in under Firefly, but yeah, that is a lot of work, and luckily he's got a few people that have helped him out with that, is and growing all that sort of stuff. Certainly does help, but when he said, oh yeah, by the way, and I was like, I'm in. And so now the nothing against Firefly Airlines or anybody involved with that, but I feel like all the stuff that I've done so far for Parasox Airlines, it's a near instantaneous recognition. The autonomy, yeah. Yeah, that's the hard part, yeah. But yeah, I don't know if I could understand that, because you want to make sure that it's done your way, and other people may not exactly respect that or follow your wishes. So yeah, that's the tricky part, but yeah, I really enjoy it. Probably a little bit more because two-tone has so many people flying, and Viper Strike flies exclusively for Firefly Airlines. So yeah, I think because I got in with Scruffy kind of on the ground floor, I feel like my stuff is acknowledged a bit more, So, but that's okay, But Thursday, when we're done with the Route 66 stuff, we have leg 13 this Thursday. Leg 14 will be next Thursday, and then that'll wrap it up. And so, but I've been doing that I've been putting those flights in under Firefly Airlines. Everything else has been under Parasox Airlines. So, but I like to have, I like it because that's why I make the little funny joke about Parasox Airlines. It's just because you have a pair of socks doesn't mean they have to match, because that's like Scruffy's thing. Anytime I've ever watched him, none of his socks ever match. So it's kind of like a fun way to talk about the airline, So, but no, I really enjoy it. Where I felt like in the beginning, it was easy, like I would have to put in something saying, hey, I did this and I didn't get any points or whatever, But now everything seems to be much better, but I don't, yeah. So, but because it's easy for me to do if I do the flight from San Francisco to LAX. That's one of the company routes for Parasox Airlines. So I'm getting the company the company discount, or whatever you want to call it, the company recognition for flying that route. So, but it also forces me to work on improving with the A310. So I just have to stop being a chicken and just get on with it and start doing it. Because sometimes after I fly, it's like the rest of the morning up through lunchtime, I'm just kind of like, I don't really. It's usually like later in the afternoon evening time, if somebody else is streaming, I'll have them on the background, and then I'll be like, I think I'm just gonna hop in the plane and go fly, and you know. So I do stuff like that. But I am really happy about being part of Parasox Airline. Because I know I'll never catch up to Viper Strike or anybody else. VR Flight Sim, welcome to the channel, welcome to the chat. Yeah, me too. Love the Junkers. This is the retrofit model. It's got a little bit more. This whole center console here is part of the retro. This is actually modeled on a real-world retrofit Junkers 52, I do believe. They added this in last month. It doesn't. There's no autopilot or anything, but it is just a navigation aid. Yeah, it is. I was worried about it at first because I'm like, oh, this thing's just going to be a brick, and it's not going to. No, I love flying the Junkers 52. Both of them are very flyable, but this one does, if you're flying VOR to VOR, this is the one to get because you get this little handy dandy thing right there that tells you your distance to the VOR. Yeah, everything is just so. The only thing I wish it had is more liveries. You know, even if somebody had to create something just to kind of, because this is, for the retro, this is all we really get. I'm not going to fly the Xbox Flyer Club or whatever, the red or green, whatever it is. It just looks like eh. So, but this is the only one that we have, so. But yeah, I fly this Mondays and Wednesdays typically. We're doing a flight across America. We're trying to land in all the lower 48 states. So we took off from JFK, we went down the East Coast, across over Florida, along the southern coast there, up the West Coast, and now we're kind of just zigzagging our way back to JFK eventually. So this is leg 35. Wednesdays will be leg 36. So I flew this, I did a route, it's an old KLM route from Amsterdam down to the former Dutch East Indies. I started off in the Fokker F7B. That was a travesty. Have you tried an engine out landing? No, I have not. I may try that eventually. I'd have to practice with it first to see how it is. So yeah, the Fokker F7B was not. It was a bit of a hot mess, and so I think when we got to Greece, and I basically did a. I just said, nah, let me just go back to the Junkers 52, and so we finished the rest of the trip in the Junkers 52. It was a route that traditionally took a week. They would fly multiple legs during the day until it was near sundown, and they would land for the night. But I broke it up into smaller chunks, and so it took quite a while to get there. But we got that wrapped up. And so I was like, I like flying this. What else can I do? So I was like, oh, let's do a tour across the United States in it. So that's what we're doing. All right, there's our vortex coming up. But yeah, it's I know if once I get a PC, I can switch over to the PC side of simming. I'm sure there's people who've created liveries for this plane, and I can just download them from somewhere. Uh, it's just I'm so tired of this bland look. You know, not that I don't like. I can appreciate the bare metal, you know, look to it and everything, and just the black stripes here for the engines and all that kind of stuff. But I just would rather have some kind of color to it, maybe just something to make it look. Uh, yeah, I know. I know the TBM 930 is supposed to get some kind of an overhaul here with the first aircraft and avionics update. I did fly it when I first started in the sim. I did fly the TBM 930 because I was just like, oh, this thing looks great. Because I didn't really know what I was doing, you know. But I understand that that's supposed to be improved here. It's on the list of aircraft that they're working to improve upon. The avionics are going to get overhauled thanks to working titles. So, which I think who will now be the leader of. Oh, thank you for the follow, VFR Flight Sim. Appreciate it. Who I think will basically handle all the avionics stuff in the sim going forward. I think, especially for the GA stuff that has like the Garmin systems and all that. Pardon me for just a second. I'm gonna look at our next. 11180. Yeah, there is a beta for it. They just did an update, I think, last week for the beta test. I did try to do the beta test, but I didn't feel like it was very successful. So I left the beta test, but yeah, I'm hoping here, I think that's supposed to come either this month or next month. I don't know, but I know it's gonna happen, kind of thing. Now that they're kind of back to work, hopefully there's more. I don't know when they're going to do their first Q&A of 2023. I would think that's got to be by the end of this month or early February might be the first one of 2023. I think last year around this time they did it about towards the end of January. So I'm guessing here pretty soon Jane or somebody will put out a maybe with this week's roadmap update they'll have a talk about the first Q&A of 2023. Because I'm curious to hear, although that a more appropriate update for Sim Update 12. I'm guessing they would probably want to get going on the beta for Sim Update 12 like right away, because that's going to be especially for the Xbox side, that is going to be the deciding 125. Well, not I wouldn't say the deciding. It's going to have an impact on the future of the sim on the Xbox. If they can't deliver Wasm with the Wasm fix of Sim Update 12, I think it's going to make things even more difficult than they are already for them. Hopefully they are able to do all that. All right, we are not getting our signal yet. That's interesting. This BORDME that we're heading to is So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But I would imagine that at some point soon we're going to start to get a sense of a Q&A session with Jorg and everybody from Asobo. Lost a little bit of altitude there. That's okay. Is the Ukers the only aircraft with a corrugated wing? Well, there is a smaller Ukers. The F-13 is in the sim as well, and it's got a very similar design, although it's just a one engine, much smaller plane. I think it's got a corrugated wing, like this. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. There may be ones that are on the PC side that have it as well that I don't have access to. I'm trying to think if the Twin Beach had panels, I think. Yeah. Yeah, so it should be this one and the F-13 are the only two that I know of. But like I said, on the PC side, there may be others that have it that I don't know. I think that was a distinctly German thing, especially with the Junkers. Because the Fokker F-7B does not have it. Yeah, I think it's a distinctly Junkers thing. Does this aircraft have DME? Yes. The Ponfar. So basically, you dial in your VORs on the nav frequency. So 11180 is the one we're heading to right now. Once the signal is picked up, so this needle will come alive, basically guiding you to your VOR DME. So once it's active, I tend to fly this needle as much as possible, but this will show your distance. You can turn this thing off. You don't have to use it if you don't want to, but it'll have your distance and stuff like that. I always just put it on the distance, the nautical miles, so it'll tell you. And then if you think you're lost, you can tell. Because I was doing a flight with this going to Indonesia, and because this was not part of it before. This little tablet, it's like a navigation aid basically. It's nothing more than that. I was flying, but I was way off the line, and I wasn't heading the right direction, and I kept looking at this, and I was like, the number's staying constant. That's when I discovered it'll be sometime, Joseph, not right away. I gotta practice more with that. It's much more difficult to do with just the standard controller. I've got to really practice with it. Like, I could do the takeoff and everything okay. It's trying to maintain the speed and landing, that's the difficult part. Welcome back, Scruff. Yeah, it's pretty difficult, Joseph. It's not not one of those things that you can just hop in. Now on the PC side, maybe if you know how to set up your controls, you can do it, but it takes a lot of practice. So yeah, that's on my to-do list. The Concorde flight. There's like a whole bunch of stuff that I'm trying to work on, but it's trying to find the time and plus do other things, So no, it's a lot of practice involved with that. But yeah, I would say if you're looking, the base Euchre's 52 does, you can dial in your VOR, but uh, it doesn't have all these particular uh, amenities, I guess you could say, in order to help you navigate properly. Yeah, yeah. See, for PC players, they're already talking about they have to do a hardware swap. Um, for me, it's just that I've only got the controller, and it's hard. Like I know I can do it. Like I said, I can do the takeoff, but it's like heading, keeping the helicopter flying straight and maintaining speed and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty difficult, Joseph. It's not a we'll get there eventually. We'll get there eventually. It's probably something that I could tinker around with now, but I feel like it'd be better served on a PC where I could get the hardware to be able to do it correctly. That's the key. I'm telling you, once I'm on the PC, Joseph, there'll be a lot more happening. At least that's my intent. But there are people who've been flying helicopters on the PC side for quite some time because they've been available on the PC side for at least a year or so now. And some people, that's all they fly is helicopters. Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. Just take some time. But yeah, if you're gonna fly the Euchres, I would say try the retrofit model first. I think you'll find it to be especially if you're doing VOR, DME flying or anything like that. It's a much easier aircraft to do all that stuff with, because you have all the extra navigating stuff versus the base model, the original model, whatever you want to call it. Although I think the original model still also has this handy, but you don't have to use this. You can turn it off. You can stow it away. If you don't want to have it available to you. I just use it because sometimes it's like a time issue. I don't want to be flying around forever lost, So I just keep it handy. Make sure we stay on track. Yeah, see, it's not that VOR DME must have a very short range because we're on a I think what did I say, this was 86 nautical mile flight. Yeah, 86 nautical mile leg. So it's probably only got like a 30 nautical mile range or something like that. So once that needle goes live and points towards the VOR DME that we're headed towards, then this will give us that information. And both sides have it. You can turn it on. I just prefer only the pilot side, but I can keep the pilot side off and keep this one on and still get the information. But there's nothing automatic in this plane. There's no autopilot. There's no like altitude hold. I think in the older model there is some kind of rudimentary autopilot system, but I've never used it. Because once you get this plane, it'll kind of like level off on its own. So yeah, it's amazing to fly. I don't feel like I need an autopilot system in this. It'll basically kind of, although the wind tends to knock it all over the place, but that's okay. As long as we don't go too far off the beaten path there. But yeah, if you're looking for some classic vintage aviating, like you can't beat the Junkers 52. I mean, it's just that clean German design, you know. Yeah, I like it. When they said they were doing an update for this, I thought they were going to hopefully add some more liveries. They did clean the liveries up. Essentially, they made some slight modifications. I think they just cleaned the lines up a little bit more, stuff like that. But generally, I was really hoping for the retrofit that maybe somebody would have done another livery for it, just to have something else to fly. Another nice looking Junkers to have in the air, but no such luck. But who knows? It's 2023. Maybe somebody will do it. We'll see. Thank you again, Scruffy, for those gifted subs to young Mr. Adams and to Infidel Farman. Greatly appreciate that. And again, I apologize about the 20 minutes of ads. I guess ads are running right now. I hope it's not 20 minutes of ads. Still gathering dust. Don't let it gather dust in the hangar if you could help. It's such an amazing plane to fly, Scruff. I think you'll enjoy it just as much as you do your Cessna 172. You know, and that's the great thing. You know, like you love the 172. I know Captain Arash does. There's always something to say. This is my plane, and you could just be, I guess, in a way, an expert in that. And so yeah, it's fantastic. Fantastic stuff. So while we're flying along, let's see if I can't. I don't know if I can do this while we're where the all right, if I'm well, maybe I need to wait until after I'm done. I don't want to inadvertently end the stream by accident, trying to get this sorted out. But I will look at in fact, I know what I'm doing. Do this, and I can do, maybe not that. Do it in another window. Maybe I can. Scroll down and find the ads. Why it did like 20 minutes of ads there. It should not have. There we go. Maybe it's the pre. I disabled the pre-roll ads. Maybe that's part of what it was. Oh, the needle's now live. 54 nautical miles. So yeah, I wasn't too far. 30 something nautical miles in. So yeah, hopefully that alleviates that. But yeah, I was shocked when he said 20 minutes of ads. I'm like, wait, what? How? How did that happen? I don't. I think that's just Twitch doing Twitch's thing. So I can't even think about the ad revenue I'll get from 20 minutes of ads in one sitting. My goodness. Not that I want anybody to suffer through 20 minutes, because I'm just like, oh, that's, you missed like 20 minutes of me talking. So, what was I going to say? So yeah, it's a fun plane to fly. I think you really like it, Scruff, once you get a taste of it. What I may do one of the days, I've got the Tempelhof in Amsterdam, the 1935 airports. So I had to get Tempelhof to do that one achievement from the Berlin airlift in the DC-3. Matter of fact, there was a movie that they did in cooperation with the during the Berlin airlift, and all the pilots, they weren't actors. I don't think the vast majority of the people that were in the movie were actual military service members, but they were the whole stories about these couple Air Force guys that were involved in the Berlin airlift, and they go into Tempelhof. But when they were flying in there, the runways were all paved at the time. So I watched that on Amazon Prime last night. So yeah, that was a pretty cool. But yeah, we'll do there was a service. Lufthansa did a service between Tempelhof to Amsterdam to London, but I don't think like Heathrow and all that, it was somewhere else. So we may do that on a stream at some point. It wouldn't take long to do, I don't think. The longest leg would be from Tempelhof to Amsterdam. So because Amsterdam over into London or whatever airfield we use for that one, will that's going to be a much shorter flight. Should be, in theory. All right, 47 miles. Yeah, I'm so pleased with this plane. Like I feel weird flying anything else. Oh, I know what we're doing next Friday. Not this Friday, but next Friday. We're going from Malta to Tunisia. Yes, that's what it is. Yeah. We're going from the island of Malta to Tunisia. That shouldn't be a very long flight. We'll do that in the A319. There's a Tunis airline livery. We can do it in that. And yeah, we'll do that. that's Saturday. So that'll be on the 20th and the 21st. We'll do the flight from Dallas Fort Worth to Miami in the A321 American Airlines nonstop service. Already got the info. The funny thing is, right? What did I do? All right. So one of the funny thing is that on in Miami, so I was looking for the gate, right? That flight goes to once it leaves Dallas, and I've got the gate for Dallas, right? So I'm looking around Miami. None of the stuff is lettered like it is supposed to be. I'm just like, where am I supposed to park? You know, like my intent is for that flight on the 21st, when we land, whatever gate assignment that they give us, we're not going to go to that gate. We're going to go to the gate where that flight actually terminated at. So I know where it is roughly on the terminal, you know, what part of the airport it's at, what terminal it's located at, that particular gate. And the great thing is it's labeled. Now what I did was LVFR did a Miami International Airport add-on that has all the correct gate, you know, the numbers are all what they should be. You know, like the gate, the letter, and the number. Sorry, got the hiccups here a little bit. So that will help out, but that's my intent is whatever they tell us to go, we're not going to go there. We're going to go to that actual gate. But when I was trying to find it, that's what perplexes me. Like, why would somebody have to go in and do all that stuff and sell the add-on? Why wasn't that part of the American? We had 2 world updates for America. Why wasn't that done then? Like, you know, I don't get it. But anyway, so now we have, just like from Las Vegas, I had to download the airport that I had, the add-on I got for Las Vegas in order to have the correct gate assignment. Because what I try to do when I do these flights is I try to find the gate that the flight departed from at first. And then, now the arrival part, I'm going to start trying to do is find the correct gate. So even if the sim does not give us that gate number, that's where we're going to go. Anyway. So it'll be about, you know, trying to figure out the layout of the airport once we land. Okay, where are we supposed to go from here, not where they want us to go. You know. So anyway, so I try to do all that homework, but so yeah, that's but it perplexed me because I'm like, why aren't there any letters? What gives? Am I at the right? I had to double check because I thought I was at the wrong airport. No, it's just not information that was in the sim, except if you download or you own or if you have the airport add-on airport. The only problem being is sometimes that the ILS stuff is not lined up with the add-on airport. So that's my only concern. But if that's the case, what we'll do is we're just going to land it manually if we have to. But we'll see. We won't know until then. But yeah. But this Friday's flight will, once we leave Guyana, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly. But anyway, we're going to the largest city of Suriname. Like the vast majority of the people in that country live. It's like the capital city, I guess, in a way. But we're gonna land there. So that'll be a couple hours of flying in the Twin Beach this Friday. But hopefully some nice scenery. 32 nautical miles. We got one more leg to go and then we'll be on the ground. And we'll wrap Addies up and put a little bow on them. We'll be back Wednesday, continuing our journey. I think I got to look at next week's flights. Put together at least Monday and Wednesday next week, so I kind of know where we're heading next. Just to get a rough idea. Now we are like way... Look at me. Hold on a second. We aren't anywhere near Minneapolis. Why are we talking to Minneapolis approach? We're not even in their airspace where they might control. That doesn't make any sense. Oh, this sim sometimes. I tell you. The things that it does, I don't quite understand it. Boy, the gas mileage on this today is... Oh, look at... That's what happened. Oops-a-daisy. Why are we still climbing? We should have been kind of just settled down here. Ah, no problem, Scruff. Lurk away. Lurk away. Lurk away, Scruffy Town. Joseph, Joseph, you don't know what song I'm referencing, do you? When I sing that. It's an old song from the South that probably is not appropriate really for today's world, but that's a song about the South called Dixieland. How? I'll tell you, from what I see on Sky Vector, I don't know how in the world we're talking to Minneapolis anything. I just totally just kind of put that together there, Joseph. But it goes look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. So that's why I was like, look away, Scruffy Town. It just kind of rhymed. Why? Why are we talking? I don't get it. There's no reason for us to be talking to Minneapolis. We're almost in Omaha, Nebraska. Golly. It's like the airways are all like, I don't know, something's not right. But maybe Sky Vector's not right. I don't know. Alright, you can do a quick refresh here. Just like I did last week on Saturday when you were in the chat. I kind of had to play with your name in the song from the Dukes of Hazzard. Just a good old Addies, never meaning no harm. Beats all you ever saw. Been in trouble with the law since the day he was born. Making his way to the dodgy McDonald's. Takes 30 buses and 2 trains to get there anyhow. Because I can't. I mean, sometimes I'll sing parts of a song, like legitimately, but sometimes I just have fun, and there you go. Where else do you get this kind of entertainment on a Monday morning? I can't play music on the stream. At least I cannot find a way to add like music that I can have in the background that's royalty free that will not get me a copyright strike or some kind. But oh yeah, once I'm on the PC and get Streamlabs and all that, oh, we're gonna have some bossa nova music playing. Something kind of relaxing and fun. A little bit of spice. Maybe some classic jazz. It's pretty different. Everybody's got their thing. Some people, like I know, Mitt, for instance, likes to have his hard rock and roll. I'm just gonna have a nice chilled background music. I just gotta find a way to do it. But once I get all that stuff sorted, hopefully sooner rather than later. But the other thing too is I'm trying to plan a trip to. I gotta go to California and see my folks. I have to do that. That's a must. I think if I don't get there before the end of this year, my mom's gonna never forgive me. So, but I also want to go to. Still working on my plans to try to go to Flight Sim Expo, so I can meet people like Scruffy and everybody else that's going to be there. And the sergeant staff's going to be there, I believe. Scruffy's going to be there. Captain Arash will be there. I think Allison's going to be there. Yeah, get to finally meet some people in person and have dinner or have a drink or whatever, just have a chat. I gotta go so I can try to help Scruffy stay out of trouble. Figure between myself and Captain Arash and a few others, we might be able to keep him out of trouble. Yeah, I'd really like to go and do that this year. I've never been to something like that before. I just saw a plane fly by underneath. Must be seeing. All right, 9.1 nautical miles, so that's it right there. And you know what I didn't look at? Hold on a second. There is one there. I don't know why it didn't give me that. 11630. So there is a navigation aid there at our destination, or pretty close to it. So I'm going to dial that one in. Once we make this turn adjustment, I'll dial that in, and then I'm going to just step away for just a moment, take a quick break, and then we'll finish up this flight. Ship Addie's off to Dodgy McDonald's on the first trip of his 30 bus trip to get to the train station, to take his 2 trains to get to the Dodgy McDonald's. I bet you if you ask Amela, if Amela's still in the chat, Amela, how many Dodge and McDonald's are there now in New York City? Almost all of them, some of them, maybe a few. I kind of feel like there's a lot there now, unfortunately. Probably talking to approaches near an airport there. That looks like an airport right there. Must be a small regional one. Is it? It has an airport layout look to it. That must be KOLU. Oscar Lima uniform. Yep, that must be it right there. It's got one long runway. So our VOR-DME must be right up above the top part of the airport there. That's a pretty decent sized runway. I think that's the VORDME right there. Little spot right there. Somebody else is in the air with me. Oh, Cappy Stick in the Corsair. Hello, Cappy Stick. How are you? Nice to see you here. What did I say it was? 11630. Final. Somebody's going to give me a fighter escort all the way into... And that is on... Oh, look at that. We already got our signal. Oops. Let me just get this dialed in here. .71 nautical miles. So it must not be right by there, but that's okay. It'll still get us pretty close. So as soon as we're like 20 nautical miles out from our destination, we'll yeah, he's in the, although I won't see it as a Corsair because we don't have that yet on the Xbox side. It's one of those planes that I've been waiting on. Although I hear it is a handful and a half to fly and all that. But I'll leave you guys outside real quick. You can watch Cappy Stick hang off my wing. I'll be right back. That is such a shame that it doesn't show an actual... I think he's in the Corsair. Cappy Stick sure loves formation flying. But that is not the plane that he's in, I don't believe. So I was thinking about... I think in Omaha... There used to be a show years ago called Mutual Omaha. We're talking like a long time ago. If Scruffy's still lurking, he'll probably know what show I'm talking about. Mutual Omaha's Wild Kingdom. There was that show, and the Undersea World of Jacques Cousteau were like the two educational... Jacques Cousteau did all the diving stuff, and they showed like fish and just all kinds of cool stuff. And they But Mutual Omaha's Wild Kingdom was all like animal related, like, safari kind of stuff, and animals in their natural habitat sort of thing. Yeah, that was TV from a long time ago. A long time ago. It's unfortunate that they don't have programs like that anymore. I should have probably tanked up. I gotta figure out why our fuel mileage is not so good in this aircraft. We used to get I think we'll make it. We'll have enough left if we had to do a go around, but 62, okay. Yeah, that was awesome TV. I remember watching one of the shows. I could stay up, not super late, but I guess what would be considered late back when I was a kid to watch, because it was educational. It was like family TV. Sort of. Let's see if we can look out this side and see. Nope. Oh, he's just out of sight from the co-pilot seat there. I do appreciate everybody coming in and hanging out today on this Monday morning. Second official Monday of 2023. There he is. There. Everybody wave to Cappy Stick. Mondays is the toughest day usually of the week when it comes to streaming, but I'm glad everybody was able to come in and hang out even for a little while. Thank you again to gift and subs. The general direction of our everything, so yeah. Keep an eye on that we don't go turning wildly one way or the other. I think now we're kind of, since we're heading pretty much east, we should have a bit of a tailwind right now, in theory. What did we just talk about? Oh, Omaha track on it. Huh. Well, that's good that we're not talking to Minneapolis anymore. Goodness gracious. I didn't think we were ever going to get rid of them. We've got a nice long runway, nice long runway into Omaha. There at Eppley, Omaha Airport. But we're still going to do what we always do. We're going to try to come in as flat as possible, sit all that aircraft down over the runway, and a little bump once we touch down. That's the plan. And we'll find out where we're going to park this thing. Forgot. The day posted. Nope. All right. Forty-seven nautical miles to go. Let's just see where our airport is on the list. It's not even on the second page. What about the third page? Okay, it's pretty far out. A lot of small little airfields here, it looks like. I feel like we're going to be almost on top of our airport before we see it on the list. Oops. I'm off track here. I think we can go ahead and start slowing down just a little bit. Start dropping some altitude. I can't imagine we'd have to be about, let's see. Airport is at 984 feet in sea level. So, OVR, so yeah, alright, yeah, we're need to be about, 3,000 feet-ish, at least. Yeah, a lot of flat plains here. Not a lot of high hills or mountainous too much around here. You get that wind chill. Oof. Get a wind blowing and it's cold. Oh boy. Chill you right to the bone. A little bit closer, and then we'll check our list to see where our airport is on the list, and we'll let them know we're coming in. Oh yeah, I feel like we're barely gonna make it. I should have added. Should have really tanked up. I think I'm just gonna have to go to 100% every time. Or at least go 90. But I think we'll just go 100% every time. It is what it is. Okay. Check. Real fast. Alright, let's see where we're at now. Let's see if it's... Wow. Still none. There it is. Third page, number 6. Okay, so what we can do, I think this is, well, I don't know if we can do a left base, because we might be just about on fumes by the time we set down, because we're almost in the yellow. I think we're just going to go in straight in and 1-4 right. Yeah, let's just get it on the ground. Otherwise, we would do a, we'd go past, we'd fly over the airport and then turn in on the left. Down in the pattern entry. I think we're just going to go straight in for 1-4 right. So it looks like our VOR DME is maybe on the far side of the airport or something. That's my guess. Alright folks, so I think I'll try to keep an eye on the chat, but I'm going to try to focus on getting us to our airport and on the ground. Flaps down. That is Corsair. Oh, yeah. That is the Goodyear produced Corsair. Yep. Captain stickers in. There's our pattern entry. Part of it. Focus on getting this on the ground. I'll catch up in the chat in just a moment. Thank you for flying along with me, Captain Stick. Greatly appreciate seeing you here. I just wish we could see the actual Corsair. It is a beautiful plane, I think. One of my favorite fighters. World War II fighter planes. I think it did serve in Korea as well. So we want to aim for just about there and hard right. In theory, we could do the pattern entry, but I don't want to chance it that we run out of gas while we're still on in our pattern entry there. That'd be quite embarrassing. Showing off his flying skills there. We got to really lose some altitude here. Otherwise, we're going to come in very steep. Coming in steep as it is. Got a pretty decent sized runway, so if we have to hover a little bit before we settle down. I'm sorry. Sort of distracted. I don't know why. I'm drinking plenty of water. quite understand these floating lights. That's something else they need to... Oh, now it's down there. There we are. On behalf of myself and the entire flight crew, we'd like to welcome you to Omaha, Nebraska. Local time is, I believe, 8:18 in the morning. We'll get off the runway here, so the stick is on final there. Yeah, pretty long runway, so plenty of space there. Parking, please. Oh. Oh, right over here. Fuel. Terrific. I mean, I am low on fuel. So it would help, but we're not continuing on, so. So yeah, we'll be back Wednesday, continuing our journey. We're heading from here to Topeka. 6:45 Eastern, 11:45 UTC/UK. The ads are running again. I gotta, I thought I turned off the pre-rolls, but now apparently I turned them on. Okay. I don't know why it's doing that. I gotta sort out this ad thing. I can't have another 20 minutes of ads. I don't know why it did that, but apparently it did, so I apologize everybody that had to sit through 20 minutes of ads. So there's something with Twitch and their ads that isn't making any sense to me. So I will get to the bottom of it as best as I can. Yeah, we probably could have made that pattern entry, but it's better just to get it on the ground and not run out of fuel and make a complete fool of myself. Thank you again, VFR Flight Sim, for the follow earlier. Oh, come on. Ah. Yeah, I think we'll just park it there. Alright, let's go ahead and shut that off. Shut our lights off. And There we are. 2 hours and 10 minutes. Not too shabby. I like it. Yeah, we'll just wrap things up here, folks. So yeah, thank you all for coming in today and hanging out. Thank you, Cappy Stick, for flying along. Thank you for the gifted subs from Scruffy Tam. And yeah. So yeah. No problem, Scruff. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for lurking. Thanks for lurking away, Scruffy Tam. So we'll be back to Wednesday in the Yonkers 52, heading to Topeka, Kansas. And then we'll sort out what our next tops are from there. Some of it may be a bit of a long one, but we'll see. But anyway, I have been and always shall be your host and pilot, Uncle B. And do enjoy the rest of your Monday morning, afternoon, evening, early Tuesday, depending on where you are in the world. Again, I have been and always shall be your host and pilot, Uncle B. Until Wednesday, peace. Live long and prosper.